Hello dear students, again one more time welcome to our class. As we mentioned last class, today we will be having a lecture on the methodology section, empirical framework, which is very important section. Let's review again one more time. What is methodology? Methodological framework is the structured plan or the system that guides how a research study is designed and analyzed. It provides a clear roadmap for the researcher by outlining research approach, right? That is the methodology. All right, why it's important? Because it ensures the consistency and transparency in the research, helps others to understand, evaluate, and replicate your study. It demonstrates the logic behind your choices as a researcher. So that's why methodological framework is very important. And today we will be focusing on the, I'm very sorry for the PPT cases. Today we will be focusing on the empirical research with the case of the, for example, what kind of research techniques we do have in empirical research and so on. And for example, how do startup founders in Central Asia develop their business strategies? For example, that's the question. Based on this, we need to detect, we need to identify what kind of techniques or what kind of methods we are going to use. This study is based on which theories. This is all will be mainly focused on the methodology section. Let's look at the those techniques. There are two main research approaches in methodological framework. The first one is the quantitative and the second one is the qualitative. These are the two main approaches, and with these two approaches we will have two main lectures today. I will be focusing on initially for the qualitative and the quantitative. What does it mean? What are they actually? Why it's called quantitative and why the other one is called quantitative, right, in an empirical framework? The quantitative analysis actually involves the collection and analysis of numerical data to identify the those activity, I mean the problem, hypothesis, to test hypothesis and make the predictions. So quantitative approach is connected with the numerical data. It is in order to analyze, we mainly depend on the data. So it uses statistical tools and methods to kind of quantify the variables and the relationships. So based on the research topic, we're gonna detect what kind of, we can say, the technique will be applied in order to analyze a certain problem, right? So when we choose the quantitative approach, so we mainly depend on the statistical numbers, numerical numbers, in order to identify those, test the hypothesis. From where the data will be taken, very clearly, the data will be taken from the World Bank, okay, from the IMF, International Monetary Fund, or from the government's official source of the statistical agencies. Based on the reports, we do our research on the using quantitative approach. All right. For example, the example for the quantitative research, studying how income levels affect consumer spending using regression analysis, right? It's very clear here. We need to select several the variables, right? Dependent and independent variables, right? And we need to find the relationship between the variables, right? It can be the consumer spending, it can be the buying behavior, it can be the income levels, right? So based on those variables, we collect the data, and using statistical tools, for example, the Stata, mainly use it, right? And so on. Mainly we use in economics, we use the Stata web software, and we find the relationship between them. The key features of the quantitative analysis, they are objective and measurable. We can say we can measure them, to what extent they will, it can impact. We can find the relationship between each other by measuring, often based on a large sample size, because the large sample size gives us the clear, we can say, the conclusion. Instead of depending to 100 or 200 observations, it's better to depend on the thousands of the observations. That means the larger we have a sample, the more reliable and more clear, we can say more trustable results we will achieve. Common tools, we do the surveys, experiments, structured observations are the key features for the quantitative analysis, okay? So, while the next one, qualitative analysis, focuses on the non-numerical data such as words, meanings, experiences, feelings, or concepts. It aims to understand underlying reasons, opinions, and motivations through in-depth exploration. Please, dear students, focus on the word in-depth exploration. In-depth exploration means like you observe someone's behavior, you observe someone's opinion, you observe someone's how they react to the certain situation, right? It is based on the how do we collect the data. We do collect the data through the surveys. In the qualitative analysis, the data is you made the data, so that means you spend efforts in order to collect the data. You make a survey. What kind of survey? That means a questionnaire survey. What kind of survey? That can be the different kind of interviews. So in the research, qualitative analysis results are more valuable because it's you kinda spend efforts, your time, your days in order to gather that data from. In the case of Uzbekistan, you go to villages, regions, for example, you go there, you interview, you make a recording. So that's why this is considered more valuable. But in general, they are all research. I'm just giving my opinion that we more researchers more appreciate value qualitative research because you spend efforts. The key features are the uses interviews, open-ended surveys, observations, or text analysis. More focus on the smaller samples because their main concept is certain behavior to analyze it more deeply. So that's why instead of jumping from here to there, they focus on more small samples. And the main common methods are thematic analysis, content analysis, and case studies. Sometimes their analysis might take years, even through observations. They might observe, they might do case studies, they might wait their opinion because it's more behavioral cases. It's not like a quantitative. You just take the data and they just run analysis. No, it's more takes time. So that's why it's always a long-term analysis. Example, exploring how customers feel about a brand through in-depth interviews. It's about the brand. If it is a new brand, it definitely takes a long time because that brand has to develop, that brand has to get its own position. That's why it always takes more time in order to achieve that mission. Sometimes we also have the mixed method, which is called the quantitative, qualitative together. That's the perfect. If you have time, definitely we recommend you to do a mixed analysis probably as well. If you have a time and resources efficiently. Mixed analysis for the same topic, you might use this numerical data from the World Bank or IMF or statistical agencies, and you want to make sure that your result is double conformed. You can also do a qualitative analysis through surveys, through interviews, through case studies. So the methodology can also have both of them. Yeah, it's difficult. It's for the students, I don't recommend to make both of them because it is more experienced field. You need to spend extra efforts in order to apply both of the techniques. Shortly, we recommend you to choose one of them because even one of them takes extra efforts for you to completely fulfill all of them. That's why we recommend you can just select one of them. But for the scholars who is doing PhD research, probably we do have here among the audience, please, you can apply both of the method, which is called mixed method. Your research will be highly valuable and highly, we can say, efficient. That's for today. Next class we will focus on the quantitative analysis more deeply into details, and see you in our next video right after several seconds, and goodbye for now.